Hello children, I am Mrs. Asavari Swapnil Singhasane from Deccan Education Society's new school. Today I am here to discuss chapter number 3 from your Science and Technology part 2. Name of the chapter is Life Processes in Living Organisms part 2. In earlier session we discussed about reproduction in plants. Now in today's session we are going to discuss about sexual reproduction in human beings. Let us discuss this chapter with the help of PowerPoint presentation. Children, we are discussing about reproduction. Formation of new organism of same species by earlier existing organism is called as reproduction. In earlier session, we have discussed about meaning and steps or processes in sexual reproduction. Let us revise it. Sexual reproduction takes place with the help of germ cells. Two main processes that occur in sexual reproduction are gamete formation and fertilization. In first process, haploid gametes are formed from diploid germ cells by the process of meiosis. We know that meiosis is a reduction division. That means here chromosome number reduces to half, and in second step these haploid male and female gamete fuse together to form a diploid cell, that is zygote. Zygote undergoes several mitotic divisions to form an embryo, and this embryo develops into a new individual. Here, as two types of gametes are involved in the process, it is biparental process. Because of this, we get recombined genes, and thus variations get introduced. This results in diversity among the living organisms. Genetic variations help living organisms to adjust with the changing environmental conditions and thereby to maintain their existence. A human child undergoes a series of physical changes. Puberty is a process by which the child's body matures and transforms into an adult body which is capable of sexual reproduction. On an average, puberty begins at the age of 11. Girls usually complete puberty by 18 years, while boys complete puberty by the age of 21 years, and they become physically ready to reproduce. Now let us study the structure and functions of human male and female reproductive systems. We will begin with the human male reproductive system. It is located in the pelvis region. It consists of a pair of testes, various ducts, and glands. Testes are present in the scrotum outside the abdominal cavity. The scrotum helps in maintaining the low temperature of the testes, that is about 2 to 2.5 degrees Celsius lower than normal internal body temperature, which is necessary for spermatogenesis. Spermatogenesis is the process of production of sperms. Testes contain numerous seminiferous tubules. Germinal epithelium present in these tubules divide by meiosis to produce sperms. Testes also secrete the hormone testosterone, which plays important role in bringing about the changes in boys during puberty. The sperms are then sent forward through various tubules which include retitestes, vasa efferentia, epididymis, vasa differentia. These seminiferous tubules of the testes open into the vasa efferentia through rete testes. The vasa efferentia leaves the testes and open into epididymis, located along the posterior surface of each testes. The epididymis leads to vasa deferens and ascends to the abdomen, and it loops over the urinary bladder. It receives a duct from seminal vesicle and open into urethra as the ejaculatory duct. These ducts store and transport the sperms from the testes to the outside through urethra. The urethra thus forms a common passage for both the sperms and urine. Hence, it is also referred as urinogenital duct. As the sperms are pushed forward from one duct to the next, they become mature and able to fertilize the ovum. The male accessory glands include paired seminal vesicles, a prostate, and paired bulbourethral glands. Secretions of these glands constitute the seminal plasma, which is rich in fructose, calcium, and certain enzymes. The secretions of bulbourethral gland also help in lubrication of the penis. The penis is the male external genitalia. Semen is ejaculated out through penis. Human sperm has a head with nucleus, middle part, and a tail. The nucleus carries the genetic information. The middle part contains mitochondria for production of energy to move forward with the help of its tail towards the egg cell. The next is female reproductive system. All organs of female reproductive system are located in the abdominal cavity. It includes a pair of ovaries, a pair of oviducts, or you can say fallopian tubes, a single uterus, and a vagina. A pair of ovaries are the primary sex organs of the female reproductive system. Ovaries produce ova and also female sex hormones estrogen and progesterone. These two hormones control menstrual cycle and secondary sexual characters. Pair of oviducts or fallopian tubes lie horizontally and are close to the ovary. These are the narrow muscular tubes lined by ciliated epithelium. Free end of oviduct is funnel-like. An opening is present at the center of it. Oocyte enters into the oviduct through that opening. Cilia are present on inner surface of oviduct. These cilia push the oocyte towards uterus. Ampulla region of the fallopian tube is the site of fertilization. Fallopian tubes open into an elastic bag-like structure that is uterus. It is also known as womb. It is pear-shaped, highly muscular, thick-walled, hollow organ. It is present in pelvic cavity. Inner lining of uterus is called as endometrium. It undergoes cyclic changes in thickness during menstrual cycle. Uterus receives ovum from fallopian tube. It forms placenta for the development of the fetus. It expels the young one at birth. Vagina serves as copulatory passage and passage for menstrual flow. It also serves as a birth canal during the process of parturition. Both gametes, that is, ovum and sperm, are formed by meiosis. In case of women, at the time of birth, there are 2 to 4 million immature oocytes in the ovary of female fetus. An oocyte matures and is released from the ovary every month from the beginning of maturity up to the age of menopause, which usually occurs approximately 45 years of age. Sperms are produced in testes of men from the beginning of maturation or puberty till death. Formation of zygote by fusion of sperm and ovum is called as fertilization. Fertilization is internal in human beings. Semen is ejaculated in vagina during copulation. Sperms, which are few millions in number, start their journey by the route of vagina to the uterus and then to the oviduct. One of these few million sperms fertilize the only ovum present in the oviduct. From the age of puberty up to the menopause, an ovum is released every month from the ovary. That means out of 2 to 4 million ova, approximately only 400 oocytes are released up to the age of menopause. Remaining oocytes undergo degeneration. The diploid zygote is formed after fertilization in the oviduct. It undergoes repeated mitotic divisions to form an embryo. Meanwhile, it is pushed towards the uterus. Once it reaches the uterus, it is implanted. An organ called as placenta is formed for the supply of food material during the growth in uterus. Embryonic development is completed approximately within 9 months after the fertilization. Now let us see some genetic background. As we all know, sexes are separate in human beings. That means male and female individuals are different, and every diploid human cell consists of 46 chromosomes, or you can say 23 pairs of chromosomes. Out of that, 22 pairs are of autosomes and one pair is of sex chromosomes. In human male, the genotype is 44AA plus XY. That means the pair of sex chromosomes consist of one X chromosome and one Y chromosome. Whereas in female, the genotype is 44AA plus XX. That means both the chromosomes are X chromosomes. That means at the time of gamete formation, human male produces two types of gametes or sperms. That is, one with 22 autosomes and X chromosome, and the other with 22 autosomes and Y chromosome. In case of female, all ova consist of 22 autosomes and X chromosome. If a sperm containing X chromosome fertilizes the ova, then the female child will be born. But if a sperm containing Y chromosome fertilizes the ova, then male child will be born. Hence, we can see that the man is totally responsible whether the couple will have a boy or a girl child. Now let us study the very important aspect of female reproductive system, that is menstrual cycle. It starts at the time of puberty. It is basically a series of changes that take place in ovaries and uterine wall, that is endometrium. It is stimulated by different gonadotropins. Menstrual cycle in human lasts for about 28 days. Menstrual cycle is a natural process controlled by four hormones, namely follicle stimulating hormone or FSH, luteinizing hormone or LH, progesterone and estrogen. The entire cycle is subdivided into four phases, namely menstrual phase, follicular phase, ovulatory phase, and secretory phase. The first phase is menstrual phase. It is also known as bleeding phase. During this phase of menstrual cycle, menstrual flow occurs and it lasts for about 4 days. The menstrual flow results due to the breakdown of endometrial lining of the uterus and its blood vessels, which forms liquid that comes out through vagina. Menstruation only occurs if the released ovum is not fertilized. Lack of menstruation may be indicative of pregnancy. However, it may also be caused due to some other underlying causes like stress and poor health. The menstrual phase is followed by follicular phase. During this phase, the primary follicles in the ovary grow and become a fully mature Graafian follicle. And simultaneously, the endometrium of uterus regenerates through proliferation. These changes in the ovary and the uterus are induced by the changes in the levels of pituitary and ovarian hormones. The levels of LH and FSH increase gradually during this phase, which stimulates the follicular development. The next phase is ovulatory phase. At about 14th day of the cycle, the developed follicle bursts under the effect of luteinizing hormone and oocyte is released. This is called as ovulation. Remaining tissue of the burst follicle forms the corpus luteum. Ovulation is followed by secretory phase, where the corpus luteum secretes progesterone and endometrial glands secrete their secretion under the effect of progesterone. Such endometrium is ready for implantation of embryo. If oocyte is not fertilized within 24 hours, corpus luteum becomes inactive and transforms into corpus albicans. Due to this, secretion of estrogen and progesterone stops completely. Endometrium starts to degenerate in absence of these two hormones. Tissues of degenerating endometrium and unfertilized ovum are discarded out through vagina. This is accompanied with continuous bleeding. This is called as menstruation. Unless the oocyte is fertilized and embryo is implanted, this process is repeated every month. If the embryo is implanted, repetition of this cycle is temporarily stopped till the parturition and thereafter period of breastfeeding. Keep in mind, menstruation is a natural process. Severe weakness is felt due to heavy bleeding. There is higher possibility of infections too during this overall period. Due to all such reasons, there is need of rest along with special personal hygiene. Menopause is the stoppage of functioning of female reproductive system. At the age of about 45 to 50 years, secretion of hormones controlling the functions of female reproductive system either stops or becomes irregular. This causes menopause. Many couples cannot have their own child due to various reasons. In case of women, irregularity in menstrual cycle, difficulties in oocyte production, obstacles in oviduct, difficulties in implantation in uterus, and many other reasons are responsible for this. Absence of sperms in semen, slow movement of sperms, anomalies in the sperm are the reasons in case of males. But now, with the help of advanced medical techniques like IVF, surrogacy, sperm bank, the childless couples can have their own child. The first one is in vitro fertilization. It is also known as IVF. In this technique, fertilization is brought about in the test tube and the embryo formed is implanted in the uterus of women at appropriate time. IVF technique is used for having the child in case of those childless couples who have problems like less sperm count or obstacles in oviduct. The next technique is surrogacy. Some women have problems in implantation of embryo in uterus. Such women can take the help of modern remedial technique called as surrogacy. In this technique, oocyte is collected from the ovary of woman having problem in implantation in uterus. That oocyte is fertilized in test tube with the help of sperms collected from her husband. The embryo formed from such fertilization is then implanted in the uterus of some other woman having normal uterus. Such a woman in whose uterus the embryo is implanted is called as surrogate mother. The next is sperm bank or semen bank. There are various problems in sperm production as discussed earlier. In case of many men, so as to have the children in case of such couples, new concept of sperm bank has been introduced. This concept is similar to blood bank. Semen ejaculated by the desired man is collected after their thorough physical and medical checkup and stored in sperm bank. As per the wish of needful couple, oocyte of woman of the concerned couple is fertilized by IVF technique using the semen from sperm bank. Resultant embryo is then implanted in the uterus of same woman. Name of the semen donor is strictly kept confidential as per the law. Two embryos develop simultaneously in the same uterus and thus two offsprings are delivered simultaneously. Such offsprings are called as twins. Many couples have twins. There are two main types of twins, that is monozygotic twins and dizygotic twins. Monozygotic twins are formed from single embryo. During early period of embryonic development, cells of that embryo divide into two groups. Those two groups develop as two separate embryos and thus monozygotic twins are formed. Such twins are genetically exactly similar to each other. Due to this, such twins are exactly similar in their appearance and their gender is also same. That is, both will be either boys or girls. In case of monozygotic twins, if the embryonic cells are divided into two groups 8 days after the zygote formation, there is high possibility of formation of conjoined twins, or you can say Siamese twins. Such twins are born with some parts of the body joined to each other. Some organs are common in such twins. Occasionally, two oocytes are released from the ovary of woman, and both oocytes are fertilized by two separate sperms, and thus two zygotes are formed. Two embryos are formed from those two zygotes, and both of those embryos are separately implanted in the uterus, and thus dizygotic twins are delivered after complete development. Such twins are genetically different and may be same or of different by gender. Then the next is reproductive health. A person's state of physical, mental and social well-being is called as health. In our country, there seems to be lack of awareness regarding reproductive health due to various reasons like social customs, traditions, illiteracy, shyness, and so on. Especially, there seems to be indifference towards the reproductive health of women. Occurrence of menstrual cycle is related with reproductive and overall health of women. Nowadays, women are working at par with men. Due to this, they have to stay outdoors for whole day. Bleeding occurs during menstrual cycle. Due to this, private organs need to be maintained clean time to time. Otherwise, problems regarding reproductive health may arise. Some problems regarding reproductive health may arise in men too. It is essential to maintain the cleanliness of the genitals. STDs are the infectious diseases transmitted through sexual contact. Among the various sexual diseases, syphilis and gonorrhea occur on large scale. The first is syphilis. It is a bacterial disease. Occurrence of patches on the body including genitals, rash, fever, inflammation of joints, alopecia, these are symptoms of syphilis. The next is gonorrhea. It is also a bacterial disease, painful and burning sensation during urination, oozing of pus through penis and vagina, inflammation of urinary tract, anus, throat, eyes. These are the symptoms of gonorrhea. Excessive growth of population within short duration is called as population explosion. We have to face various problems like unemployment, decreasing per capita income, and increasing loan, stress on natural resources, etc. There is only one solution for all such problems, and that is population control. Family planning is also essential for this. So children, in today's session, we discussed about sexual reproduction in human beings. We discussed human male and female reproductive systems. We also studied the process of menstrual cycle and all the events occurring in it. And at the end, we discussed about sexually transmitted diseases, or you can say STDs, and their symptoms also. Thank you.